Hello everyone, I'm Faral Imran and today I'll show you the task that I've done, which is called the landing page in website. So this is the task 1 of CodeSoft and it is a beauty salon landing page. So let's get started. At first, I'll write the HTML boilerplate. Like you don't have to write the full thing, you can just install the extension by writing here in extensions. You just write HTML boilerplate, and then when it installs, when you write HTML, then this boilerplate comes. Okay, so here in head I'm writing the title as Faral Beauty Parlor. Just it's just the name or the title of the website. I'm linking the style.css. This is the style sheet. Now, what is the style sheet? This is the style sheet. So style.css, in which I'm doing the CSS work, like I'm adding colors to it, or I'm like setting the font size or something like that. So HTML is the basic foundation of the website, and CSS is the styling. So it's called like cascading style sheets. So style.css, it has all the styling, like we want margin as 0 or padding as 0, like what the background color should be, what font size should be, what font color should be. So that's all in the CSS. I'll link this using this code, and then after that in the body I'm using the class as overflow x hidden. So here in style.css you can see that I have done in the body, I have changed the background color to this code, hex code. It's actually some grayish color. And here in star it says like for everything the margin should be 0 and padding should be 0. And then after that you can see that I have added a button in which the on click is equal to top function, id is equal to my button, and the title is go to top. So this top is actually a button. So if I, for example, right click and I open with live server is also, it is downloaded in the extension. If you write live server, so that you can open it and you can check like whatever code you add, and then you can check it by using open with live server. So if we go for like open with live server, okay, so here you see in Chrome, now this is the website that I have opened. So like if I scroll it down, so the stop button appears. Now how does it appear? I'm adding JavaScript in it. So I'll show you the JavaScript code after some time. Here I'm adding the dev container. So the dev container, it has some classes like container and mx-auto. You don't need to add like more than one classes. It's like up to you. Like you can add one class or you can add double classes. Like I needed to add some display or something like that, so I added more classes. In the header, I have added the header, and inside the header there's a nav bar. So nav is the nav bar. In that there's a class I've added as flex for the display of flex. You can just write it, you don't need to add this flex class, and justify dash between. After that there's a dev in class is equal to logo for Faryal Imran. Now if you see this website, so this logo I'm talking about, it's Faryal Imran, this I have added. After that, if you see that I've added a list, so UL is the list, so this is the nav bar. Inside that I'm adding a list, and LI is when you add it, I'm adding the about us, deals, gallery, and contact us, and I'm adding the link to it. So it's a link to it. You can say link is the anchor tag. So this A is the anchor tag, and I'm adding a link to it. For example, when I click on it, it goes to that part or section, you can say. After that, in main class is equal to min dash h dot screen, like what is the minimum screen size. I've added in the style.css. This is the, you can see that here, you can see dot mx dash auto and dot flex dot items dash center and justify dash between. You can see this all things, and my-1 and all these things, it's added in the style.css. Okay, so in index.html, now you see I've added h1. Now h1 is heading 1 and it's the you can say the largest font here, not the largest font, but in headings, like if you see, like it goes from H1 to H5. So where H5 is the like the smallest font and H1 is the largest font. So here you can say I wrote that the beauty salon is here for you. So I've added like the sizes, so that's why I've added the class. After that, I've added P. P is for paragraph, so I wrote that we provide the best services for you. Just you can write anything. After that, I've added an image, which can say that beauty image, this image I'm talking about. After that, if I go like scroll down, you see the deals of the day. That's all I've added. In another section in which I've added H1 as deals of the day. Paragraph is the prices are given for the deals are below, which you can see here. Here you can see that. After that, I've added the gallery, you can say, like before, after the deals. I've added the gallery. There's another section called section 3. So I've added the gallery, in which I've added some image of the gallery which I took from the internet. And after that, there's a section 4, which is the contact us. So you can see the email, phone number, and the location. And after that, I've added a footer in which it's written all rights reserved. Okay, so the button that I was talking to you about, like I said that it is used by, or the functionality is enabled by JavaScript. So how is it enabled? I wrote it here, like I've added JavaScript here. You can make another JavaScript file, but I just added here. Here, like first I added the script, and then I made the variable that let my button is equal to get the element by ID. So document dot get element by ID, so my button. So how did I get this? At the top you can see that this ID is equal to my button, so I'm getting this button. So here, by using this function. After that, when I wrote it, that window.onScroll is equal to function scroll function. So now what is the scroll function? Now this is the scroll function. Now here it says that if document.body.scrollTop is more than 20 and document.documentElement.scrollTop is more than 20, so my button.style.display is equal to block. So like if I scroll it down, it says if it's more than 20, then it will show the button, or else my button.style.display is equal to none, means like it will not show. After that, there's another function, which is the top function. Now what is this function? It happens when the user clicks on the button. So when it clicks on the buttons, what happens? So here it says the on click is equal to top function. So when I add the on click function, for example, you're clicking a button and nothing happens, you have to add a function in it. So this top function is added. Now what it does it do? Now here it says like document.body.scrollTop equal to 0 and document.element.scrollTop equal to 0. Now this function, it will check, and then what it will do, if it's more than 20, it will display the button. And this is, now I'll show you in the website. Now this, you can see the gallery and you can see the contact us page, and this is the footer. So when I'm scrolling it down, you can see that this button is enabled, and when I click on it, it goes to the top. So here it says like this one minute, yeah, here it says that if I click on this button, what happens? It goes to the top, so equal to 0, so it goes to the top. Okay, so here it happens, and if I click on this, for example, if I say about us, so this section appears. If I say deals, this section appears, if in which the deals of the day is written, and the gallery. Before I told you about that the anchor tag was enabled, so I wrote the anchor tag and it shows like the section. And how is it written? I'll show you. Okay, so here it says, when I say like the anchor tag, it says like hash section 1. Now the hash section 1 is actually the ID. I wrote here the ID, like ID is equal to section 1, so it will go to this section. And if it's hash section 2, it will go to this section, because ID here it's written, so it's actually going to the ID. You can add more links also. You can add a URL, or another thing. But here I wrote the ID, so it goes to the next section. So that's how it's enabled. And thank you so much for watching, and that's all from my side.